hopefully it catches everything. It puts us either in like a him big, me and you on top of each other. We'll figure it out. But I'm recording it too, so well,
right.
if you don't catch it right, maybe mine will.
So we're both gonna record.
Yeah, might as well, right?
All right.
You mind if I start off real quick? Because I seen some of the stuff on Facebook that was going on with the burnout, and that's really cool. But I'm not like totally up to date with everything and how big it got. And it, I started seeing it everywhere. It was really, really impressive. And unfortunately, it was a sad situation for you never want to hear about a child that's sick. I mean, that's like the one thing that just breaks my heart. Like you almost can't even believe it's real. That kids can get sick. It's like heartbreaking. So.
Yeah. So I'm not recording, so we're gonna have to go off yours. But I'm gonna say this is Josh Colburn. He's the one who started Burnouts for Wyatt with the hashtag page, right? Wyatt or Wyatt's page was that page that you had started, I should say. And it got worldwide. So why don't you just tell us how you started that, or how everything kind of worked out where you started that whole thing?
Okay, well, so I came in connection with Greg and Christy, which is Wyatt's parents, last year. I did 2 events for them last year. I held a ride at Children's Hospital, or they went from Barber Motorsports Park to Children's Hospital. We had over 500 entrants come into that, so that was a big deal. So that's my connection with Greg and Christy. I do a car show series called Rides for a Reason, and that's where I got connected with them. So Wyatt loved cars. Wyatt loved going to car shows with his dad, Greg, and Greg loves cars, and that's what they're about. He restores vehicles, restores old trucks, old F-100s. That's his big thing, is he likes the old F-100s, so that's what he restores. So their family's always been about car shows and cars, anything to do with cars, Hot Wheels, period. So one day I sit there and I came up with a hashtag. Hashtag burnouts for Wyatt. Why not? Let's try this and see what we can do with it. Mm-hmm. Never thinking in a million years that on January 10th was when I started the page, and from January 10th until that following Friday, we had over 100,000 members, and it's still steadily going strong. So it's just been a huge impact. It's all over the United States. There's people from New Zealand. I mean, there's people from Australia, Japan. People from all over the world that don't even speak our language are on this page supporting Wyatt and showing support for the family. So it's amazing.
That's great. So you were doing stuff like this before?
Yeah, I started in 2013. I started a group called Cars for a Cause, and I ended up having to change the name to Rides for a Reason because Cars for a Cause was already taken. So I've been doing Rides for a Reason since 2013.
That's a good thing. Not to interrupt you, but it's a good thing that there's people out there that want to help. Yeah. A friend of mine actually had a whole thing that was Cars for Cancer, similar. And his brother had passed away of cancer, and he did a lot of benefit shows. His name was Anthony. Did a lot of benefit shows, and we went to a handful of them, to support him. It's obviously great if you could take, something as silly as cars and turn it into something positive. Like I build cars, I live cars the whole day long. Cars. But when you see like people sick, especially kids, it puts in perspective like what your whole life's about and what you do. And, my brother actually is a cop, and I had asked him once, why do you want to be a cop? And he handed me a letter from, I probably said this before, but it was a big moment in my life. And he handed me a letter from a mother. He went into a car and pulled out 2 infants out of a burning car. So for me, I was like, wow, it was like the first time I saw someone close to me that had a real passion, and his passion was to help people. So I kind of felt kind of vain in the car world. Like I build cool cars for people. Some people love it and cry. Some people don't care at all. They just want something that looks cool. So like doing something like this, we had a couple situations where we worked with some handicapped people, and we gave them a hobby and gave them freedom and a couple things that was important to me. But when you see these causes like what you're doing or my buddy was doing, it's kind of like the pathway to take something that's kind of vain and usually like, I don't know if I want to say vain, but not something that has a real soul attached to it. And then you take something like cars and you switch it to something that can benefit someone who's sick, or just even bring happiness, right? With this family and this kid, you brought a lot of happiness and a lot of eyes on sick children. Hopefully, is that kind of what you're thinking to, take what you're doing now and transition it to help more people?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's I've stepped down as the founder of the page. Since it's grown so big, and Greg and Christy want to turn it into some foundation, a 501(c), and get everything legalized.
Yeah.
So I've turned the page over. As of yesterday, I turned the page over to the family. And Greg and Christy, they're going to start running it. In 2 weeks, they're going to have a platform laid out of how they're going to do things, and it's going to be to benefit other children with cancer. That's their main focus. It's going to be childhood cancer and benefiting those. And like you said, I mean, it's an itch you can't scratch. Once you start doing these things for children in need or people in need, and you see the impact it has on their lives,
yeah,
it touches your heart and makes you want to do more and more and more and more. So
yeah,
I love it.
That's awesome, man. I mean, thank God for people like you. We've done a couple. Like now it seems kind of silly, but we did a couple car shows for the local humane society because I'm like a big animal person. And the first show got a pretty good turnout. The second one was okay, but like the second show, we timed it bad with a really big car show that nobody told me was happening the same weekend, and we still got a better turnout than the first time because there was a lot of people that were animal people first, and they also had cars, and like a lot of people showed up, and it was cool. And I always thought about like what it could turn into, because I always wanted to do a couple big car shows myself, but I'm so busy it's hard to prioritize what I should be doing when. But even like these people came like with when we put the flyer out, it was like bring bleach, bring paper towels, bring things for the shelter, and it was like really cool to see people like bringing truckfuls of stuff, like to help the shelter, help animals. So obviously with children with cancer, it's like it's almost you're entering a really a sad situation and trying to make good out of it, which is brave of you, because I'm the type of person that if I even hear it, like literally when I heard this, I just saw a quick, I think maybe from Mike, right? I think I saw your thing.
Yeah, I've been sharing it a lot.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh my God. And when you hear these stories, it's like you almost want to shy away from it because it's so crazy to think that a child can have cancer, And then there was that thing with the surgery, Mike. You remember the cars where the people would bring those like power wheels that were all done up, and they would use the power wheels to drive them to the surgery, so they would be like excited to go to surgery.
I wanted to start something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to start something like that too, using my platform. But I did do a hashtag car show, Josh, that you probably didn't know about either, for a boy that has congenital heart defects. We had a falling out with the family, so I don't really talk about it much, but I did it for about 3 years.
I remember that. Yeah, it's tough too because you're entering an area where there's so much emotion. You know what I mean? Which is tough to even want to get involved in. That is like it's brave to step into around a family. Like I'm the type of person, like I'd fight 10 guys tomorrow, but dealing with it, like the idea of like a sick child, like I can't handle it. I'm like sensitive to that, where it's like it'll ruin days of mine. You know what I mean? So when you're doing what you did, you're staring at it every day, and I guess it's a good thing that you could look it in the face and still try to do a good thing without the sadness of the whole situation, taking over. It's got to be really difficult.
Yeah, I know it's like. I commend Josh for it. That's why I wanted to reach out to him, and I know everything you take on yourself. At least I did. I was paying for portable toilets and everything out of my own pocket. And so I know I took a financial burden that I couldn't afford, but I wanted to help out a kid, and that's what I did. And I haven't done anything since that. Oh, we lost Josh.
Did we?
Yep.
Coming back. There he is. He's back.
But
okay, man.
It's pretty awesome what you've done, and to get it like worldwide. That's just so awesome, I think. And a lot of people are trying to send stuff. I see a lot of other kids coming up on the page now. But it's something that you started that's amazing. When Wyatt
not to interrupt you, but that's got to be also tough, because now you're opening a door to like see more of it. You know what I mean? That's but it's touching, man. You know, it's cool that, you know, you got these guys doing burnouts and these like, you know, these old biker guys or hot rod guys, these like hard dudes that are out there doing something cool, you know. It's that's really awesome.
You know,
Anything
I'm emotional.
Anything in the future, you know, that what we could help out, absolutely. You know, as this gets bigger, what me and Mike are doing, and I'm doing some of my own stuff, you know, don't be afraid to reach out and let us know what you're doing. We'll post it, and you know.
Yeah. We appreciate it. That's, like I said, the reach has gotten out there. I mean, Farm Truck and Asian, that's been my favorite video of all. Farm Truck and Asian did a video for Wyatt, and it's where they did a culmination of trying to do different burnouts with the golf carts and all kind of stuff, and then they finally brought Farm Truck out. Just seeing people like that, I mean, people taking their time. I mean, they don't consider themselves celebrities, but I would consider them celebrities because they're on TV. But people like that out and taking their time to support Wyatt. I mean, it's crazy, and I just hope and pray that Wyatt's legacy will continue on through this stage, and people will continue to maybe do burnouts for other children or do burnouts for cancer, something like that. Because I mean, the amount of support Wyatt got has just been amazing.
It's already that. It's already that. You know what I mean? Even I look at it like for the family too. You know, like I couldn't even imagine dealing with a sick child. Nonetheless, we've all had sick family members. That's even terrible, right? Mm-hmm. But I think maybe what this did is kind of shine a light on a special kid, and you know, the family, I'm sure, probably got a lot of comfort out of seeing so many people come together. You know what I mean? Like that, especially if they're car people, to see their own people, you know, support it. That's cool. You know, I mean, again, like for me, I take things like that really hard. And again, I just started seeing it pop up like everywhere. Like everywhere I looked on Facebook, it was boom, 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 boom. So you already did that, right? For him, now it's just a matter of what happens for some of the other kids that are going through the same thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, any TikTok, the new app TikTok or the old app TikTok. I found out about it the first of last year. But I mean, it's all over.
Yeah, I saw it, and it got TikTok got really weird for me, like people dancing and stuff, and I was like, I don't have time for one more weird thing in my life.
It's all over every social media platform out there. And Greg told someone, this is what Greg Wyatt's father told someone. He told someone that in the last 2 days of Wyatt's life, he sat on the couch in the living room and he held Wyatt, because that's all he could do was hold him. I mean, he was sleeping. He wasn't in pain. He was just laying there. Yeah. And he would hold his phone while he was holding Wyatt and just look through the Facebook page and see all the burnouts, scroll through the burnouts, and just all the love and compassion and support for his son. That's what he said. That's what helped him get through the last.
Yeah,
it was pretty amazing. I saw the night Wyatt passed away. I think I looked at my phone. I saw it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I saw that. It just felt terrible, and went hugged Brady in bed and just kind of laid there with him and cried, like a lot of people did. It's something seeing grown guys on Facebook crying. But
listen, let me tell you something. Like for me, like if my daughter falls and hurts her knee, it hits me in my heart. If my daughter feels sick, like with a cold, I'm like, oh my God. It's amazing how you could, you know, when it's your own child, I couldn't imagine what the poor family went through. But again, you know, you put a nice ring around something that was obviously super difficult and unimaginable for most people. It's like the worst thing you could ever. I mean, let's face it. It's the worst thing in the world that could happen to a family is losing a young child. I almost like I always ask myself, like, that can't be real. Like, children can't get cancer. Like, my brain wants to believe that. Like, no, it shouldn't be. It should never happen. You know what I mean? Children shouldn't get. You know, because they're so innocent. Like, people, all of us have our vices, and people have good and bad, and some people are really bad, some people are kind of bad. But with kids, they're innocent, and it's just like it's such a tragedy that they have to deal with the pain of real disease and sickness. You know, and that to me is like the worst. I couldn't imagine what these poor people are going through. You know.
Yeah. my son's friend got killed. Got hit by a car, and I'll tell you, like every morning I woke up, I cried for about 2 weeks, and you know, he was 12, you know, and my son was best friends with him, so rollerblading, and he went right in front of a car, and dust in the car, didn't see him, hit him. So
that's sad.
You know, and I wouldn't let my son ever go out with him, you know, across town because I figured something like that could happen, and it did. So
yeah,
it's
a scary world. It's scary letting your kids out into a world that you know is rough in a lot of ways. If for many reasons, even the crazy people abducting kids, and it's scary. You know, like I grew up, actually got hit by a car in Queens. Actually, the first time I painted anything, I painted a bicycle and I got hit by a car because there were kids touching it with their fingers. So I walked across the street and I got hit by a car. Thank God the guy stopped. But that's terrifying. Just the world itself is terrifying. And then on top of it, like you have sickness and that's like, that's crazy. So what are you going to do from here forward with your thing, like separating yourself from this and letting them run that? What is your angle going to be? And
I'll still be there in the background because Greg and Christy, they're going to need a little bit of guidance and support because they've never ran a Facebook page. So I'll be in the background. I've just disassociated myself with the page. I'm not an admin anymore on there. I'm just going to be there to support them if they have questions for anything. I'll be there for them to answer any questions. I'll still post to the page, but I won't post there as trying to get anybody to do anything or anything on there. I'll just post as support and stuff like that. But I'm going to try to keep up my rides for a reason and doing that. That's just been a passion of mine. But I don't have any shows slated for this year, but I look forward to trying to find new places because I just moved to Tuscaloosa, Alabama about 2 years ago, so I don't have connections down here yet for car shows. But I would like to try to do something.
Have you met Nelson from Boss Hog yet?
I have not.
Have we put that together? Maybe you should meet Nelson. Nelson's a good dude to know.
Yeah, he has the Boss Hog torque converters you can see behind me.
Yeah, this is that poster we did for SEMA. I don't know if you can see it with the glare, but he's a good dude.
Yeah, he could. I'm sure he'd like to be part of something like that.
Yeah, especially if it's all good. Yeah, that's so. Where'd you live before that?
I lived in Jasper, Alabama, out in Walker County. So about an hour and a half from here.
Oh, okay, so not too far. Yeah.
Not too far. Yeah, I relocated down here for my job. I worked for the railroad down here, so I've been with the railroad for 5 years, and finally I just got tired of the hour and a half drive, so decided I come down here.
Oh, that's cool. What type of car do you have? You have any hot rods? Anything cool?
I don't. I had a 1973 Ford F100 that I was restoring, and then I ended up turning it over to my father because he could do more with it, and just I don't have the finances to do it right now, so I lost interest in it, but I've had a 1964 Impala. I had a two-door hardtop no post, and then I had a 72 Nova. But I've had cars in the past that I've had to let go and do because I mean you got to support your family. You got to do things for your family.
Yeah, no, I have. Me too.
I'm in the same boat as you, Josh. I don't have anything myself either, but I do events. I promote events across the country. So
you need a truck, Mike. See the truck like on your poster there.
I looked, and Josh messaged me in 2016. I looked at my Facebook Messenger and sending me his information for a show. But I think I've had your flyer on, every year, I believe. But sometimes I'll just see it. I'll put it on. But
that's cool.
I've done that website since 2001. So carshownationals.com.
And it's funny because people look at you if you do car shows or you do a page like you've got set up, and they're like, "What kind of car do you have?" I don't have a show car. Well, how in the world are you in the car show world if you don't have a car to put in the show? I don't know. It's just the love and passion I have for it. That's why I'm in it. So
supporting all the car shows around here in Minnesota. I asked that if people are having burnout contests this year to maybe do it for Burnouts for Wyatt. We'll see if that happens because we have all the cars up here all in storage because it's wintertime. When everyone's doing all these burnouts, we were getting a big snowstorm. So, so not too many things are happening around here.
Yeah, I got two projects. I got my S10, little small block Chevy S10 at my house. I just got into a new house, so Now I have a garage attached to the house. My truck like barely fits in it because it's a smaller garage. But like literally, it comes like this close to the washing machine, and it's like this close to the door. But I can open the doors and pop the hood, so I'm gonna get that running. And then I have a SEMA project. Hopefully, if it gets done for this year, pretty cool car. So anything we could like promote or cross promote or help you out. If we make it there, we'll definitely do that. Definitely stay in touch.
All right.
I go to SEMA every year too. Me and Ed usually meet up there. I don't know if you've ever been there. You should maybe go out there sometime.
Never been
go out there.
SEMA's cool, man. Yeah, you definitely should get out there. You meet a lot of people, man. You meet a lot of people. It's really it's a good thing, And I guess like in a way, see, it's tough because you want to do something like what you're doing and try to make it, help support you while helping people, right? That's like the idea a little bit, where you could continue to do things like what Mike does. He's trying to find a way to make some money and also help, people and do the right thing. But what you're doing is like a whole nother animal. You're trying to help people that with sick children and stuff, which is cool. I don't know how you set up like nonprofits and stuff. I guess a little bit about it, but it seems like you got a good start to to take a direction and do something cool like on the side of your regular job. Like, man, if you could take your life and help people and still live, without it hurting, like what's better than that? That's pretty cool. To have a little bit of like soul or reason, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work what he's doing because I've experienced it myself. We put in a lot of time, a lot of work, and I work a regular job too, and do this, car show stuff till 2 a.m. sometimes. Ed, I don't know if he ever sleeps because I swear he's getting home at 2 a.m. from his shop.
I work like crazy.
Yeah,
work like crazy.
Late, like 2 and 4 in the morning. What?
Yeah. But we're busy. We're so busy right now that I almost don't have a choice. And I just got, like I said, I bought my new house. That was a whole thing in itself. We got a couple new projects coming to shop, for this year. And just dealing with customers. And we had a truck that we're airbrushing that hijacked the spray booth for like 3 weeks because it turned into a bigger job. We couldn't take it out. And it's just like, oh my God. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy, but I like working, man. If I, like sometimes, being my own, working for myself, I could go home in the middle of the day and hang out with my daughter for a few hours when she gets home from school. And then I could come back and work while everyone's sleeping. You know what I mean? If they're asleep, it's better for me to be here working. And, so some people don't understand that. Sometimes I get people at like, oh, well, I want to come by at 3 o'clock. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be there at 3 o'clock. So either come early or come after. But, it's that's probably the one benefit to being self-employed is that I can do things like that. But the downside is there's a lot of downsides obviously with being self-employed.
Well, me and Ed have been trying to do a podcast since SEMA, and our schedules haven't worked out, but we somehow got this to work out today. So
this is my first week I could breathe.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first week since SEMA that I could relax and, like, even sit down and have a conversation. Yeah, I was just so, like literally all day long, phone ringing, people stopping by. That's the nice thing about working late is that you don't get the people that want to stop by. And, like, some of my customers want to stop and touch and look at things, which is fine. But if I'm in, like, the work groove and I'm like, in the middle of what I'm doing, and then somebody wants to come by and they want to talk, and if you cut them off, they get upset, they get offended, you know what I mean? So you got to you got to hit the brakes for a little bit. So, sometimes it's,
Josh is going to, I guess if I was in your shoes, I'd almost want to take a year off for how much time you've probably been putting into stuff. But because I know when I did that show for 3 years, I was just burnt out,
Yeah, but if you could do something good for another kid in that situation, man, I'd try to keep that thing going, keep that train moving. And, it's like you almost have most of the car, I wouldn't say most, but you have a good part of the automotive world, like right there, and I would maybe talk to the family and just say, hey, once in a while, point back to my thing, so you could maybe do something special for another kid. That's like, and I mean, especially for the family, that must have been like heartwarming to see everyone reaching out. Like, that's cool, and that's like the good side of social media. Like, there's a bad side, obviously, to the internet and social media, and you got like creeps and all these crazy things. But then this is like an example of something good that came from social media, right? You help the family get through a really tough situation. That's awesome. I mean, I can't think of a better use of having social media reach people, than to like take something and again, like, you could almost grow it into, finding companies to get involved and help, people looking for cures and looking for things. Like, it could get really big. You know what I mean? It's like, seems like such a good head start. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to run, but I got an appointment. I got my doctor's appointment at 1:15.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to get off. But I appreciate y'all taking the time to talk to me.
No,
and
that's pretty cool. Yeah, me and Mike, we'll talk for a couple more minutes. I still, like I said, I got a Mustang that looks like it got open heart surgery down there. So, it was really nice talking to you, and it's impressive what you did.
I appreciate it.
We'll keep in touch, Josh. I'm gonna keep in touch with you.
Find me on Facebook.
Any help you want.
I think I'm at my limit of friends, but if you send me a friend request, I'll delete somebody and I'll pop you in. And then as you're doing stuff, send me stuff, message me. Feel free, 100%. It's an honor to know you.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. It was nice to finally meet y'all.
Great.
Yeah.
Take care, brother.
Talk to you later.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. All right.
So what's up?
I guess
I'm
we're
pissed
still
off that you got the Nitrous Express sweatshirt. I'm gonna have to call Mike Wood.
That's just a T-shirt. That's a T-shirt.
Well, I
got the sweatshirt too.
I have this one.
This one's a little colorful.
I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna take a picture of it.
Oh,
Send it
jeez.
to Mike Wood.
That's funny. Well, it's I learned doing my charity stuff that, after what happened the last one, I almost want to just do for a charity for more of a like children's hospital or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm more like I'm gonna connect with someone eventually when I start doing it again. I've done like 4 or 5 events, but I'm maybe someday again I'm gonna start it up again.
Well, again, it's tricky. Like you said, you had people that were kind of giving you crap about trying to do something cool. To me, that's like, I couldn't imagine it. Like, I know you're the most honest person I've ever met in my life, almost to a fault. And you still got people, like, that just can't, I don't know. It's tricky. I think when you do that stuff, you have to really navigate those waters very carefully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you deal with something that's so personal. It's I'm literally sending Mike Wood a message right now.
And say, hey, where's mine? Oh, there's been a lot of things I wanted to talk to you and do a podcast with. Like, I didn't get to say goodbye at SEMA, and I don't know if you saw me and Terry Wilson. We were stuck in the 55 Chevy Moonshine Runner.
Yeah.
We didn't even get through Ignited. We didn't even make it. They turned us out of there.
Yeah, that was a whole disaster this year, though, right? With Ignited.
We sat in the car for like 3.5 hours, and we finally start moving, and they turn us out of the whole thing. We ended up on the main strip. Like, what the heck? Yeah, so we didn't even get to go through. I guess there's like 30 cars that didn't even get to go through there, and it's pretty. We were all pretty bummed. And,
yeah, I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't even really like the Ignited show.
Did you go check it out at all?
No, this year, no. Last year, or with the Dave Turin one, it was cool, I guess. But I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know. I mean, it was cool hanging out with you and running into some people, but other than that, it didn't really seem I mean, I guess it's a good end to the show where you drive in. That's cool. Like the drive-in is cool, but the actual show, I really didn't get that much of a kick. I mean, I guess it's cool because everyone could walk up to the cars and talk to people and stuff, but
yeah, it was disappointing this year, but because we never even got to walk down there. I never got any pictures, you know, nothing. Because we were sitting.
Well, you have enough pictures.
I only had 900 from SEMA. What are you talking about?
Well, listen, I like the idea. Like I said, you know, I want to pat myself on the shoulder for giving you some suggestions, but I like the idea of how you separated some of the pictures, you know. Yeah. And I know Mel brought it up to you. You know, I think it's much easier to digest when you're looking at a handful of pictures rather than, you know, a whole, like, forget about it.
Yeah.
I remember I'd open up some of your pictures and it would, like, break my computer. Like, but no, it's cool because now you're giving people, like, a more digestible look at SEMA, which I think is important.
Yeah.
And you got some of your pictures. Still not even great. How many more do you have?
What's that?
I think the day you go to SEMA next year, you're going to be putting up your last picture of SEMA this year.
I know. I still have. I'm not even all the way through doing it how I've been doing it. So.
I could imagine.
I'm going to try to do more videos. You know, I don't know if you saw my one video I did. It's up to 193,000 views.
That's cool, yeah.
It's pretty good. So I'm going to try to do more car videos with the equipment that I was supposed to have, but I didn't have. And people are ripping me for it. But it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but you know what? You do it the way you do it, man. Don't worry about what people have, what other people have. I mean, I think you have your own way of your own way of doing things and your own voice and your own view, and just let that ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be going to a car show. I'm excited to in April, and I should have some good video from that.
Yeah. Well, you practice. You know, you practice. Just keep doing them.
Yeah, I've expanded my equipment. It's going to look like a professional setup when I'm done with it.
Oh, yeah. So when we walk around with you, we're going to look important?
No, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to set up the camera where we could actually sit down in some chairs and actually I can remotely control the camera.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of cool for if we're going to do interviews or do something like that. I'll be able to control it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that'll be cool.
Absolutely.
What else is new? Anything else? Were you still doing the truck for SEMA too? You were gonna partner up with someone else and do a truck, I thought. You had said that before, but
so that actually, I was just talking to the family. How do I word this? I was just talking to the family. You know, obviously it's a big financial commitment. And I was just talking to the mother of the gentleman who's doing the truck, and I think she might be helping. So I have kind of an important meeting with them, I think, next week to decide really like what we're going to do and how far they want to go. You know, because it just came in like, I want to build a SEMA truck. And, you know, when you say that, it puts the, it puts the price tag, like, you know, almost to the roof. You know, so that being said, we have to have a serious conversation about, you know, about money, about timeline, about design, about what we're doing. I've been working on it and I got a cool direction with it, but I'm almost at the point where I want to hit the brakes a little until they tell me, yeah, let's go full steam ahead. Because I don't like to trap customers in situations where their car is too far gone to fix and they can't afford to go backwards. You know what I mean? So now that I know that there's more people involved than just the guy, and he's a nice guy, but again, you know, the way the truck's going to be, I don't want to say the name. It's a local company, but we're going to, if everything goes well, we're going to use their logo as kind of like we're almost building like a demo truck for their company, if you will, for a local, which could be really good for them, and it might be a better reason to build something because they can bring this thing to a whole bunch of places and and use it for marketing and especially locally. They're a big company around here, and I've always heard of them, and the the guy who owns a truck. When I say kid, he's not a kid, but to me, because I'm old, he's a kid. He's a really, really nice guy. You know what I mean? And I'm really excited to do something with him. But again, you just want to, like, you don't want to go to SEMA halfway. You know what I mean? I don't want to build it. I believe that you lose money on vehicles you do halfway, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you don't do it right, that's when people pick you apart and they kill you when you want to sell it eventually. Or if you never want to sell it, great. But if you do, you like to notice some value in it. So I've always seen that people that go out of their way to make things amazing and build it a certain way, there's always going to be someone that appreciates that vehicle. So what we're building, if it happens, it's really cool. Like, I can tell you the idea. Like, we're taking a newer truck, not a brand new truck, but a newer truck, kind of an iffy year that isn't relatively special, and we're building it back to being like an 80s pickup truck. But we're doing like flare side and all this stuff, but everything's custom, like the headlights, the grill, the tail lights, the back bumper, the front bumper, everything. And then we have a couple other really cool touches. So I kind of have to get a commitment from them, at least an understanding of where we're going to go, where it's going to be money wise. I don't want this truck to be halfway done and they have to bail out and they can't finish it. I'd rather do one part of the truck and not, but that unfortunately doesn't get you to SEMA. When you want to build a level, vehicle of that level, you gotta have everything good, and that's how I brought the project from another guy who's going to probably do the frame and the lift kit, because he does a lot of stuff like that, a lot of truck stuff. And it was like, we're building a SEMA truck, and that was it. And so that changes the bar on what you're doing, So again, I mean, I need to talk to them now, because if I'm building that and my car, it's going to start getting busy real quick on top of all the other work that's coming in the shop. So, I may have to hire a few new people if this vehicle is going to happen. I just got to see what's going to, where it's going to go. So, but again, you're talking about money, and that gets, it's easy for that to get, like I'd rather talk about money ahead of time and then not have to worry about it later than to not talk about it in the beginning and then all of a sudden becomes a problem and it stops a project, when I could be working on a project for another customer that doesn't have the stops in it. You know what I mean? And that's really what I want to do. Like, at the point in my career now, I want to work for people that can afford for me to flex my muscle a little bit, and like show what I could do. So that's really what it is. Like, people talk about doing things for celebrities. There's not really like, okay, it's great, I have this celebrity's picture on my wall. That only goes so far. But, if a celebrity can afford to help you go a little further, and also their connections can get you things like sponsorship is real easy with people like that. That's just to get me to show off what I could do more. You know what I mean? So,
what do you think, Jeff Allen's car at Barrett Jackson?
Yeah, what'd it do? 150?
150. I'll go on to the SEMA scholarship fund for kids going to college.
That's
in
awesome.
The automotive industry. So
that's awesome. I'm actually talking to a gentleman. I guess he's a producer. About kind of like doing something TV stuff. I mean, vague conversation. But it's going to be something to do with like, that's kind of like kind of the direction I want to go to, is take young guys and get them back into blue collar jobs that can turn out to be, you could make money especially in the next 10 years, 15 years. Like, in 10 years, you're going to have a hard time finding a plumber or finding a guy to work on any of your old cars.
Right.
Like, think about it. The guys that are, say, Tri-5 Chevy, exactly what you're talking about. The people that really know them are dying. They're not here anymore. You know what I mean? So, there's a lot of opportunity for people, especially now with Instagram and Facebook. You could target a vehicle and you could be a builder of a certain vehicle. I think that's where the money is. I had a friend of mine, we did a podcast, Corey, and he's like a 300ZX dude. And he's awesome at them. And he's like carving out a niche where people just know he's the guy to go to. And in 5 years, it's going to be a bigger niche. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of like what I'm trying to do. But Jeff, you know, I love Jeff, man. He's awesome. He's like, I always joke around and say, when I grow up, I want to be Jeff Allen, you know?
Yeah.
He's such a sweet
Great.
guy, and his wife's so nice. They're just such a great couple, and the way they do things and the way they operate together is cool.
Yeah.
And that car selling for a big number, that's cool. You know, that's good to see. You know, I was really happy.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Forgot what I was gonna say now.
What else?
What else is going on? Trying to think. Well, I'm waiting for Good Guys to send me their flyers still. I've emailed that Betsy. She was on stage with you at SEMA. I emailed her like 4 times.
With me?
She finally, yeah, she's on stage with you at one of the times. She's from Good Guys. You were up on stage with.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
I remember she had that young kid with her. That that built that one car.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm waiting for their flyers. Couple things happening around here in Minnesota. Any announcements come out, but there's it's like a Minnesota Car Club Association or something like that. I might be wrong on the name, but they're this year they're kind of folding up. So they're the guys who have all the flyers from all the shows around the state of Minnesota. So we'll see if something happens out of that for me, but I'm not going to take it on myself, and we'll see if we have some partners here.
Yeah, well, you got a lot on your plate as it is.
Yeah, I know. But, well, anything else? SEMA, we didn't recap SEMA. That was a good time.
Yeah, SEMA was fun. You know, it was nice to be there.
Being sick half the time. Half that week I was sick. and a foot problem. So that was it was tough to get through, but I made it.
Yeah, SEMA's bad because if you hurt your foot or you twist an ankle or something, it's brutal.
Yeah. I was hurting Monday night. I mean, that was the first day. And I wasn't even open yet. I was already hurting, so. But
yeah, it was awesome. Definitely nice seeing you, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully no one got sick from me. Johnny Balmer was trying to keep me about 10 feet away. So.
How's he doing? Have you spoken to him lately?
I haven't talked to Johnny. I mean, you know, we'll say some stuff on Facebook here and there, but he's still, you know, testing all the cars, and I swear he's in Road and Track magazine almost every month.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Johnny's cool.
We need to get some more podcasts set up. I mean, I still have people waiting. But if you're busy, makes it tough.
Oh, yeah, we could do some. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, I got a handful I was supposed to do too, and I just haven't had the chance. We tried to do the one with what's his name?
It was Luke.
Yeah, that was a disaster.
Well, did you guys even do a whole podcast, or?
Yeah, I have it. I just haven't had the time to sit down and edit it and put it out. It was a little dark, the video, but it was cool. It got the gist of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
good guy.
Yeah, he's. You know what I love is that. You know, he got accused of being a guy that can't build a pretty car, and then he built one hell of a pretty car, man.
Yeah,
that thing was awesome. It's funny. That's one of my favorite cars now. That just burned into my head, like the work he put into it, the color, and you know, story behind it. It's awesome, you know.
Well, that's funny because remember I tried to introduce you to him, but then we didn't find him that day when we were at Ignited. I was going to introduce.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember.
That was Luke. I was trying to get you hooked up with him, you know, so I could meet him, and then you end up doing a podcast with him.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's awesome.
I would have loved to join it, but I couldn't hear you at the bar.
I know. Yeah, we can't do that again. That was like, I have to edit that out because it was so bad. The video and the audio was so like choppy.
I know. I feel bad because I really wanted to be part of that one.
Yeah. Well, again, like I said, the ones where there's like a big connection with you and somebody, we'll figure out a way to do it. I just think it's you know, sometimes it gets hard with 3 people because the story, like the stream doesn't stay the same. But we'll figure it out, man. If we could just do it where like I talk to someone and we call in and have you, get down and ask some of the stuff you want to ask. It may be better. We just got to find a way to do it where it flows better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I still have Joe Zolfer from Garage Squad. He said he'd be on, but then he started racing his Dauntless Daytona, at the drag strip. So I didn't want to bother him because he was hauling his car all over the country racing it. But now he's just sitting because he's in Illinois, so he's probably not doing too much outside of than working on cars in his garage. But we gotta get him on sometime.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I just had to write myself a note. I thought of something quick. Yeah, well, let's figure out when that is next. That'd be fun. Well, maybe we'll get him on. I have a couple ideas of people, but I've been like kind of with everything going on, it's just hard to concentrate. And when I do these, I like to be like present, and so
well, I can see why we haven't connected. I mean, getting a new house isn't something that's just one day and you're done.
Well, what's funny? The process to getting it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But the once we got in, it was like I was out of the old house and in the new house in 2 days. But we got really lucky. We got like a 2 like 60-something degree days back to back, and that was the day I was moving, and I was like worried it was going to be a snowstorm.
Yeah.
No, it turned out to be really good. My buddy Ryan helped me, and Zach. Zach's actually he's Paul Senior's nephew or second cousin.
Yeah.
And I met them through Nick. I don't know if you met Nick yet, but
in person or no?
No.
We're just friends on Facebook. Oops.
Nick's like Roger Rabbit. He's like literally like knowing a true cartoon character. But yeah, so Zach is he's related to them and helps me out once in a while at the shop here. And then Ryan, he used to work for me. He's got a real nice Corvette, C5 Corvette that's pretty fast. So he comes by the shop and helps out. So, when we start doing some TV stuff, we'll probably have them, there or our channel, whatever it turns out to be. And,
yeah. Well, say hi to Melanie for me.
Oh yeah. She's busting her ass too, helping me. And
yeah.
Her and Justin have been like lifesavers. They just literally, Melanie's interesting because she just like has won't take no for an answer. Like if something can't be done, if someone else says something can't be done, she'll go and do it and make everyone look stupid.
I could love it. That.
I love it. It's like the idea of like that she doesn't think there's anything she can't do. It's kind of how I think. And Justin, it's funny. Justin's like a different personality, but Justin's also like, the way he's like getting really good at doing certain things. For me, he's like excelling a lot. So between those two, things are really good. There's still a lot I have to do on my own too. Melanie's going to be doing all the upholstery, and is starting to, and we're setting up a whole area. And that's the thing. Like we're trying to change the shop while doing the house thing, and we just got the whole upholstery area separated. So she's not too close to where we're doing dirty stuff, and but it's like we got so many different projects here and coming in, and a lot of cars went out the door, and that were here for a long time, some long time projects. So this next year is going to be interesting. See what happens with that big job, but yeah, between those two, it's great. I probably need somebody, another person that's with me a good amount of time. I just don't know who that person is yet because nobody wants to work hard anymore. Like these young kids, man, it's like on top of them being lazy, it's like they don't have any interest in working with their hands. So you take those two things and you put them together, and it's like, it's terrifying. It's terrifying what the future is going to be, but that just means there's going to be more money for people that want to do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, one of the things you had said earlier, and I just clicked again, is you're talking about the older cars and less and less people are going to be working on them. Look at the magazines that went under now because of social media and the internet and all that. And yeah, it's interesting. Who's going to work on the cars in the future? That's a good
Well, you
question.
know what? They'll be. You see, the problem is people will realize it's valuable at a certain point. You know, because if you're a guy that has money and you want to have a certain car done, now you may not just go down the street to the guy that's in your town. You may go on Instagram and look up that vehicle and, find someone who's a specialist in it. And,
Right.
like I hear it more and more, like literally my customers, like, oh, I used to go to this guy, but he's not doing it no more. Can you do this for me? I love your work, but this guy was my carburetor guy, but now he's not there. Can you do my carburetor? Like, so I see it on my side. And I'm 46. Realistically, maybe I'll work till I'm 60. I'd like to retire at 60, like physically. Not say I want to stop working on cars, but I don't want to have to work on cars. You know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe it's say if I don't break a leg, I got really say 10 years even of solid working hard. And it's just crazy to think, like, I don't see any young kids that are even looking to learn this stuff. It's just crazy. So
Yeah.
that's one of Dave Turn's big things, talking about like that gray collar work where you're not quite blue collar, but not quite white collar. You could have your own business and be a gray collar guy, which is probably what I would call myself. Someone that has your own business. You can do well if you really want to work hard, but you're still working. Like I still take out the garbage. I still sweep when I have to. I clean up after Justin every day. So it's like I'm the salesman. I'm the guy who takes care of the bills. I'm the guy. So it's not always easy, but when I want to go home, if I want to close up the shop right now and go home and hang out with my daughter, I could do it. So.
Right. Yeah, what did you think about the magazines? Just all going under, except for a few.
It's crazy. I wanted to start a magazine and actually do a print. I've been working on a magazine for like 7 years.
Right.
I actually have it to the point where it's like actually I could print one tomorrow, but it would be a little outdated. But like the structure's there, the layout's there. So my idea was to do it, but I'd have to find a salesperson, somebody to sell the ad space. But I wanted to do a print copy so I can go to shows and hand people an actual magazine that they could go take into the bathroom and sit down and read like we all used to, Like, I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for Hot Rod Magazine and Carcraft Magazine. I mean, like, I don't know if I would have stayed into cars if those magazines didn't exist.
Carcraft is one I always got. For some reason, I like Carcraft better. Probably because I was more into muscle cars, but now I like everything. But
yeah. Well, when we did Overhaul and we were at Hot Rod Magazine and Carcraft Magazine's garage, and I was like, this is a trip. Like, where am I?
Pretty cool. There's also a local magazine, Rat Rod Magazine, that went under, and they're out of Minnesota, and they
I saw that. Yeah, the guy was trying to keep it afloat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just tough, I guess, out there.
Well, like the way I structured mine, it's a lot safer than some of those big magazines. 'Cause if you're trying to keep up with people that have huge money, you're really advertising. You have to be so involved, and it has to be so much money has to be spent on going to shows and being places, and it's crazy. So I'd still like to do it though. I still like to do a magazine and just kind of take my approach to, I have a unique look at things, I think. So, like the type of cars I like, and just kind of do something like that and just get some local advertising and try to, not to make a killing, but just to make enough money to make it worth it,
Well, think of this, Dad. I follow John Gilbert. He's a writer for Street Rodder. But he had mentioned 198 advertisers just lost their magazines. That's a lot of advertisers. Where are they going to go? Online? That's a lot of companies. So go to carsfornationals.com, right? But if you think about it, that's a lot of advertising that they aren't doing now.
Yeah.
That's a crazy number to me.
Yeah. No, it's out there.
Yeah.
My thing is though to do like a local thing, more of a local, or East Coast based magazine. And then if it grows, it grows. Maybe I do one here, then you do one in your area.
Yeah.
We'll have to have
even Lowrider magazine is gone. I just I couldn't believe that either.
Lowrider you'd expect to be gone because it's a subculture. Like only a handful of people are really into lowriders, but everyone's into hot rods and muscle cars. There's no reason for that to be gone. You know what I mean?
think
lowriders is, how many people, if you go to a car show, there's what, one or two lowriders sometimes, but there's 500, 1,000 cars go to like Cars and Coffee or something.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should talk. Maybe we should talk, but not a non-recorded Skype conversation about maybe do something together.
Yeah. We can talk later.
Yeah, there's a way to make some money and still do something cool. And then there's also a lot of opportunity to do some good along with that. As long as you can get some people that have money to support you, you can do more stuff kind of like we talked about with that gentleman today. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just about reach, so maybe we could maybe we can get together and do something together that can make a few bucks and kind of push both of our causes a little further.
Yeah.
But I gotta hit the bricks. So I think there's a customer that's just about pulling in.
No problem.
You see me looking. I'm like writing notes for him, and I could see out my office to my entrance. He's not quite here yet, but he's supposed to be here at 2. So,
all right.
Let's do another podcast and let's me and you talk. We'll go over it. I'll show you some stuff.
All right.
I'm gonna stop recording. I'm gonna show you something too. Hold on.
Okay.